Good morning, and thank you for joining us to be part of the 56th Spring Convocation at Lethbridge College. We're here today to celebrate the success of more than 300 talented students who will soon be walking across the stage. All of these convocates have shown dedication, focus, and fortitude during their time here at Lethbridge College, and it is our pleasure to honor them today. And so, to the class of 2013, let me be the first to say, congratulations. And that was your first standing ovation. And now, if you would all please remain standing as the Lethbridge Collegiate Institute Choir, under the direction of Karen Hudson, leads the singing of our national anthem. Beautifully done, and thank you. You may now be seated as the choir performs a tribute to our convocates. Thank you. What a talented choir. We'd like to extend a special thanks to Karen and the LCI Choir for being here with us today. Thank you. Welcome. I am Peter Leclerc, Vice President Academic and Chief Learning Officer at Lethbridge College. And today I have the honor of being the Master of Ceremonies for our 56th Annual Convocation celebration. I can vividly remember my own college convocation. Yes, I am a graduate of this school. I'm not going to say how many years ago, though, and I can easily recall all of the emotions that went along with that day. I'd put a lot of hard work into my diploma, and it was good to celebrate this day with my friends, the cohort who I'd went through the program with. And we are here today to celebrate, and there's no denying that. But I also remember the keynote speaker from that day. He reflected on all that had changed since he had gone through convocation, and how the world I was headed out into was so much more competitive and demanding than the one he was. And one of the things that he did was challenge us to keep learning, to learn from him, and to learn from every opportunity and challenge we face in the years ahead. And that would be my message for you today, to keep in mind that we are gathering in this room to do the same kind of work you've been doing since you started at Lethbridge College. That's learning. There will be much to learn from the speakers who have come to celebrate with you today, and so much learning that can happen in your future. You'll be better off, better prepared to face the challenges and changes on life's path if you always remind yourself to keep learning. We're delighted to see so many of you here today to share in recognizing the accomplishments and achievements of our class of 2013. And before we move on with a few introductions, I'd like to remind you that we have an overflow room available for you and your child to use if it becomes difficult to remain seated during the ceremony. The overflow rooms are located on the second floor of this building and are equipped with live video feeds and another that overlooks the gym. So wherever you are, you'll be able to watch the ceremony. And if you need help locating these rooms, please ask one of our volunteers inside the gym. In addition, please note that there are emergency exits to my left and well marked outside the gym. And now, the entire college community would like to extend the warmest of welcomes to the convocates, their families and friends, faculty and staff, Students Association representatives, associate staff, and alumni. I'd also like to welcome you in Blackfoot. It is a small way to recognize our presence in traditional Blackfoot territory. Okay. Kitsekane Kzimatsumboa, Unakamdi Dupe, Okane Dupe. At this time, I would like to introduce our platform guests. I ask that they stand and be recognized as their names are called, and that you hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. First off, Mr. Randy Jesperson, Chair of the Lethbridge College Board of Governors. Dr. Paula Burns, Lethbridge College's President and Chief Executive Officer. MLA Bridget Pasteur, Lethbridge East. His Worship, Reiko Dodek, Mayor of the City of Lethbridge. Mr. Wesley Provost, representing Chief and Council of the Piikani Nation. Ms. Nancy Walker, Vice President, Finance and Administration, University of Lethbridge. Ms. Sandra Davis, Director of Collaborations, Athabasca University. Chief Tom McKenzie, Lethbridge Regional Police Service and Lethbridge College alumnus. Mr. John Milder, Chair of the Lethbridge College Alumni Advisory Council. Mr. Dylan Hargraves, President of the Lethbridge College Students Association and a convocate who will receive a diploma in General Studies today. Ms. Rika Snip, President of the Lethbridge College Faculty Association. Mr. Simon Griffiths, Vice President Corporate Service and Chief Financial Officer, Lethbridge College. Ms. Susie Kennedy, Associate Vice President and Registrar, Enrollment Management and Learner Services. Ms. Deb Bardock, Interim Dean, Health, Justice, and Human Services. Ms. Karen O'Dwyer, Dean, Teaching, Learning, and Innovation. Mr. Marty Thompson, Interim Dean, Health, Justice, and Human Services. Also on the stage is Ms. Shar Scow, who will be our signing interpreter for the ceremony. And Mr. Ken Taylor from the School of Justice Studies, who will be reading the names of all of our convocates this morning. I would also like to acknowledge several of our honored guests, including Mr. Knud Petersen, this year's honorary degree recipient, and Mr. Kelsey Prenevos, who received an honorary degree at last year's convocation. And welcome to all our special guests, including former board chairs, board members, and other supporters of the college in our VIP section. Thank you all for joining us today. Please be seated. I would also like to take a moment to acknowledge some other contributions to today's ceremony. Our processional was piped in by Sean Pinder, co-owner of Runner Soul, and the procession was led by our honor guard, which include members of the Lethbridge Regional Police Service and the Lethbridge RCMP detachment. Finally, I would like to thank you all for taking the time to help make this a memorable occasion for all of our convocates and their families. Thank you all. At this time, I would like to call upon our newly installed President and CEO, Dr. Paula Burns, to bring greetings on behalf of the college community.
Thank you, Peter. And good morning to all of you. It is such a pleasure to be here with you this morning on this most jubilant and memorable of days. Are you having fun yet? Okay. It is an honor to stand before you for the first time as Lethbridge College's president and share my wishes and congratulations with you. And congratulations certainly are in order. Each and every one of you has really accomplished something special, completing your post-secondary education. And maybe I shouldn't say completing. This is probably just a step in the journey for many of you. You've arrived at this day from a whole bunch of different points of view in your learning journey. Some of you probably came right here after high school, and you were sure the program that you picked was exactly what you wanted to take. Others may have found Lethbridge College a little bit later, after you've tried some other things, worked in some areas, maybe even gone to some other post-secondary institutions. But wherever you came from, you have had to rely on hard work, determination, and dedication to successfully complete your program and earn the right to walk across the stage today. Well done. We are all so very proud of you. You know, I can still picture the details of my own college convocation. And one of the feelings that I most vividly recall from that day is the sense that, well, I was done. You know, that was it. I was done. And that I received my diploma and that's all I was going to do. As it turned out, I was wrong. It was about after 12 years after receiving my diploma from a college, I earned an undergraduate degree. It took me a long time to get that undergraduate degree. After that, I did pick up speed and added a couple of more degrees as well. But really what the lesson is I want to share with you is that when I compare my feelings to that day of thinking I was done, and then to the reality of what life has shown me, is that we're never really done, and we're certainly never done learning. It might not always be in formal settings, but throughout our lives, we're constantly adding new skills, adapting to new situations, learning new vocabulary, new methods, new ideas. The world is changing. You have to learn when you become a parent. You have to learn when you move to a new town, or as many of our alumni have done, move to a foreign country. That's why your instructors at the college have spent so much time focusing not just on teaching you the facts, but instead teaching you how to learn. Our goals at the college are to inspire and facilitate learning and to provide the best and most meaningful learning experiences to you, our students, whatever program or field you are in. Because whether it's next year or even 10 or 20 years down the road, there'll be a moment when you think you're done. and when you think you've reached the end of something. But if you've learned how to learn, and if you practice acquiring new skills and ideas, then I'm sure you're going to be able to move forward with great skill, grace, and confidence, whatever the challenge might be that you're facing. You're really quite an impressive group, you know. Some of you already have job offers. Some of you have acceptance letters to universities to continue your studies. Others, you already have that ticket to travel in the place you've already dreamed of seeing. There are some of you sitting out there today who've taken a risk to seek your education, giving up the security of a well-paying job or a familiar city to really pursue a bigger goal here. There are convocates here who are really the best in what they do, whether that's in rodeo, running, or poetry. Some of your classmates have faced incredible hurdles, challenges so daunting and overwhelming that you may have been tempted at times to just give up, but you didn't. And there are people here who are amazing volunteers who've already given back to their community in so many ways. But what's most inspiring about all of you is knowing how much you will continue to contribute to society, to the economy, to your communities, and to the growth and success of your province and your country. You are leaders, people who are shaping society. You are researchers, people who will find solutions to real-world problems. But most of all, you are learners. You are people who will be able to change and evolve in this world that we live in, because you've never stopped learning. It really has been a pleasure to be part of your journey, and we at Lethbridge College wish you all the best as you move forward. Congratulations, class of 2013.
Thank you, Paula. And now I'll call on Randy Jesperson, Chair of the Board of Governors, to bring greetings on behalf of the board.
Thank you, Peter. Each spring, I'm blessed with the opportunity of representing Lethbridge College's Board of Governors in front of a crowd of eager faces, full of anticipation of what's next to come. If I could, with a short sport analogy, I know I always go off script and terrify these folks, but if, just by way of background, a farm boy, I grew up south of Tabor and lived and worked in Calgary and then Houston, Texas, ultimately back to Canada, and have spent the better part of the last 2 decades in working, living, and now retired in Vancouver. So the analogy that I'm referring to when I look out and sense all the excitement is much akin to what we will soon be seeing on television as the Canucks are about to leave the dressing room for their first game of the playoffs. And after all, we're all Canucks, and you look just like they're going to look when we see them on TV. I look out at hundreds of students in your colored sashes, your black gowns, and I'm excited for the journey that each of you is about to embark upon as you step into the role as Lethbridge College alumni. Whether it's on to another post-secondary institution, straight into a career, or perhaps traveling abroad, or all of the above, the opportunities are endless. The convocates who come before you can provide some inspiration as you start your journey. Excuse me. There are thousands of you scattered around the world, doing important and interesting work in a variety of professions. Let me tell you about a few of them. Some of our alumni have overcome hurdles on their way to convocation. One of your cohorts today, James Chang, has a developmental disability. He decided to audit courses at Lethbridge College in the Office Administration program and has completed the inclusive post-secondary education program. The experiences led to James's employment at the college today. He performs mask fit testing for students and faculty in all of the college's programs that send students to practicum settings where they may be exposed to communicable disease. He ensures the students are adequately protected when placed in a practicum environment that could put them in harm's way. It's a job he loves, and his colleagues and supervisors are thrilled to have him on the team. Some of our alumni find that work doesn't always feel like work. Take Megan Orr. She crossed this stage just last year to receive her diploma in therapeutic recreation gerontology. Lethbridge College is the only place in Canada that offers this high-demand diploma, and thanks to her classroom work, field trips, and practicum experiences, Megan had no trouble finding a job. Today, she gets paid to play cards. God, that would be fun. Some days. Other days to garden, always working on activities that help senior citizens maintain or improve their cognitive, social, physical, or emotional abilities. You might find that you make several changes in your career once you leave Lethbridge College, and that you can succeed in all of them if you've done what your instructors have taught you, and that's to learn how to learn. That's what Philip Fodchuk, a 1994 graduate of criminal justice, discovered. He spent 10 years working in the technical crimes section of the Calgary Police and RCMP before starting Urgentis, a company that deals with computer crime. Leaving policing was a difficult choice. It was the one job he knew he always wanted to do. But he also saw growth and opportunity in starting his own business. Today, he encourages students to be open to change and says you might be surprised where life takes you. I could spend all day telling you about our amazing students, as clearly there's no shortage of wonderful stories to tell about the convocates who came before you. Let these stories be your inspiration, much like your story could be the inspiration for future graduates of Lethbridge College. We can't wait to tell the tales of your success, so you remember to keep in touch and to come back and visit us when you can. Congratulations to all of you. Take care.
Thank you, Randy. At this time, I'd like to ask Bridget Pasteur, MLA Lethbridge East, to bring greetings to our convocates.
Good morning, everyone, and certainly to our new president. I was privileged to be here for her installation yesterday, and it was a pretty big day. Her 4 children were here, and as a mother, I could really understand the proudness that was in the children's faces, but also in the mothers. So welcome, Dr. Burns. I, too, am a graduate of this college. At the age of 45, I decided that it was time. And as Dr. Burns has said, you have no idea where you're going to end up or when you may come back to advanced education. So at 45, I came in, sat down with the counselor, went through a bunch of books and decided, 2-year program, a nurse. Everybody loves a nurse. I'll be a nurse. So I did. I worked hard. And I know what it was like to sit in that audience and say, oh my God, I actually did it. And I was really proud of myself, and I know that you are proud of yourselves because I know the work that it takes. But one of my points is something that Mr. Jesperson had talked about. You never know where you're going to end up. Who ever thought that as a nurse I'd be a politician? I mean, that's a pretty big stretch, guys. But the point is, every single door that's out there, kick it down and walk in because you don't know what you're going to find on the other side. And so I wish you all the very, very best. There's fabulous, fabulous opportunities out there, so go out and grab them. And in the meantime, have a good party. Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget. Next, I'd like to ask His Worship Reiko Dodic, Mayor, City of Lethbridge, to bring greetings to the convocates.
You know, Peter really enjoys calling me your worship, his worship, because he knows that I often say, there's one person in this world that never calls me that, and that's my wife. Let me start by saying how pleased I am to be here today. Yesterday, I had the honor of being able to be part of a new tradition at the Lethbridge College, and that was the installation of Dr. Paula Burns as the 8th president of a college that started as the first public community college in Canada back in 1957. One of my regrets is that I skipped my convocation, and by doing so, I deprived myself of a fond memory that I never will have. But even more importantly, I selfishly deprived my parents of the opportunity to watch their son walk across the podium. Parents who took great pains to teach my sister and I about the value of an education. And parents who would have been grinning like Cheshire cats had they had the opportunity to witness what you and your loved ones will experience today. I have no hesitation in telling all of the graduates that you have received a first-class education from a first-class institution. A college that is second to none in terms of academic excellence. Some of you may soon be starting to work in your chosen fields, and still others may be continuing their education. But whatever tomorrow holds for you, know well that the education you received has provided you with a solid footing for achieving your dreams. And in large measure, your education is a product of the support you have received from your families and friends. And I suspect that your parents, your grandparents, and other loved ones supported and encouraged you during your time at the Lethbridge College. And without such support, your educational journey would have been much more difficult. And what was started a few short years ago has now led you to today, smiling, happy, relieved, maybe even a little surprised, and I'm talking about the parents at this point, and looking forward to what undoubtedly will be a bright future. All you have to do is go back and have a look at the distinguished alumni who are now leaders in their chosen fields. Very shortly, you will become the newest graduates of this college. You will become part of a family that began before you were born. So I offer my congratulations to President Paula Burns and all of the instructors and administrative staff that guided you to this moment in your life. And to the professors, lecturers, and teaching assistants, I also offer congratulations. And to the parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, spouses, and significant others, that is, those of you in the audience who smile almost as large as the graduates, I say thank you and congratulations as well. And finally, to the graduates, and with due apologies to any English majors in the audience, you done good. Share the day with your loved ones and be proud of your accomplishment. Let me close by quoting from a couple of philosophers that have had a cross-generational impact. For those of you where this graduation marks only a first step in your ongoing educational pursuits, I offer you that 1970s sage Alice Cooper, where he sings, "School's out for summer." And for the graduates that haven't completed their education, I continue with Alice, where he belts out, "School's out forever." And for those that will be embarking on a career after graduation, I offer you Axl Rose of Guns N' Roses, where he sings, "Welcome to the Jungle." So on behalf of my office, my colleagues on City Hall, this entire community, I congratulate all of you and have a great future. Take care.
Thank you, Mayor Dodick. We're proud to have an excellent working relationship with our Students Association. At this time, I'd like to ask Dylan Hargraves, President of the Students Association, to come forward to speak on behalf of the association.
Good morning. This is a very special day for all of us. I'm here on behalf of the Lethbridge College Students Association to congratulate each and every one of you on your accomplishments. Through my job this last year, I've been able to travel and visit with people from multiple colleges and universities around Alberta. And I firmly believe that you are graduating from the best college in this province. It's been a trying, productive, and amazing year, and you have all done very well. Many of us are at a crossroads of sorts, and we are going to make decisions now, or recently have, that are going to affect our lives. The challenge that many people face is finding a passion and following it. And you've started that, you've done that. You have found something, and you've gone with it. So I want to say keep going and see it through, and don't be afraid to experiment. This last semester, the background on my computer screen that I've looked at time and time again and has always made me smile and kept me going has been a quote from Winston Churchill. And it says, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." An instructor here at the college who I never had the opportunity to take any classes with but spoke with a fair number of times said something to me during my first year that I have never forgotten. She said to me, "My generation was taught to think outside the box, but your generation is learning to think without boxes." Thinking without boxes. This is the future. People like to say that students are our future. I would argue that not only are we the future, we are also the present. We are taking the stage and we're taking charge. We are making ourselves heard. Many of us are going on to further education, but what we've learned here will prepare us for life. We are lifelong learners, and we are lifelong leaders who are thinking without boxes. History remembers the radicals, so let's live our lives in such a way that history remembers us. As Randy was saying, there are so many students from this institution who have gone on to do great things, and I believe that each of us can do the same. So congratulations on all that you've achieved. And I look forward to seeing all the amazing things that we will do. Thank you. I would now like to ask the president of our faculty association to join me to announce the recipients of our LCFA SA Excellence in Teaching Awards.
Thank you, Dylan. This is always a great day for faculty, for your instructors, for all those people that were involved in that whole educational enterprise. So lab assistants, teaching assistants, counselors, advisors, everyone who worked to make it possible for you to be here today. And one of the ways that we recognize excellence in our teaching staff is by giving a joint award from the Students Association and the Faculty Association to instructors that we recognize as being exceptional. And this year's winners are two instructors from our trades department from Heavy Duty Technician Program, Murray Weens and Ryan Kaub. Both who have been here for a very long time and whose students tell us that they spend lots of time, overtime, talking, being available, giving advice, telling stories about what happened when they were in the field, and just generally doing a great job. And so we'd like to recognize those two and to congratulate them here at this event. Both of those guys are old and seasoned. As a matter of fact, every so once in a while, somebody will call them Dad, and they get embarrassed. But we also recognize our rookies, and so we have a Rookie of the Year award, and this went this year to Melanie Hamilton, who is a new instructor in our NISA Nursing Education in Southern Alberta program. Her students report that she was always on top of her game, that she was always available, that she told great stories about what they were really going to face in the field, and that's what we're all about. We're all about getting you ready to go. And now you're ready to go, and you look fabulous. Enjoy this day. Congratulations from your instructors and everyone else at the college who's involved in getting you where you are today.
Thank you, Dylan and Rika. And now I have the pleasure of introducing the recipient of this year's honorary degree. An honorary degree is conferred as a way of recognizing an outstanding individual who has made a significant contribution to education and has demonstrated a commitment to values aligned with Lethbridge College. This year's recipient, Knud Petersen, or affectionately known as Knudie, retired farmer and exceptional volunteer. When word went out that the college had selected Knud for his distinction, we heard nothing but praise from the community. If anything, the complaint was, "It's about time." Knud, a native of Denmark, says he ended up in Canada because he took a wrong turn nearly 50 years ago. And in case he says, that small mistake turned into one of the best outcomes in his life. And of course, all of us in southern Alberta have benefited from it as well. Knud arrived in the region in 1969 and started working on the Perry family sugar beet and potato farm. Eventually, he bought land of his own and became a partner in this potato business with the Perrys. During those years, he also helped raise 3 daughters, Leslie, Nicole, and Elizabeth, all of whom attended Lethbridge College. He put his own competitive soccer skills to use as a coach and referee for his daughters and their teams during the 80s and 90s. And in 1994, when Nicole was a student at the college, Knud and a friend volunteered to establish the college's first women's soccer team, with moral support from the college's athletic director, Tim Tallstrip. They helped finance the program the first few years, along with sponsor Ron Sakamoto. During its first year, the team was undefeated and finished the season as national champions. And if you look around, you'll see one of our banners. Knud continued to coach for more than 2 years, providing his positive guidance and direction to the Kodiaks. When Knud finished coaching, he started traveling. From 1997 to 2004, he played in World Fun Cup soccer tournaments and backpacked through South America, Australia and New Zealand, Southeast Asia, Central America, Europe, and Africa. The trip, he says, still remains the biggest and best of all of his experiences. Back in Lethbridge, Petersen has been an active volunteer at a host of community organizations, and including the Lethbridge Food Bank, the Southern Alberta Council for Public Affairs, environmental groups, and more. Knud gives so much to the community, to this community, and it is our pleasure and honor to give him this recognition today. Knud Petersen, Lethbridge College is proud to bestow this hood and to confer an honorary degree of Bachelor of Applied Arts to you this morning.
Good morning, everyone. To the First Nations people in this community, I want to welcome you especially. Also our honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, and especially the graduates. Congratulations to all and their parents and families. It's kind of a hard act to follow, having heard all these eloquent speakers coming up here, and I'm not really a public speaker myself, but I'll try my best. So before you get too far wondering how long this guy is going to talk. I can tell you that sitting through many convocations, ceremonies, has convinced me to keep it short and sweet. The last thing anyone needs to hear is someone trying to justify why they are receiving an award. My 3 daughters, Leslie, Nicole, and Lizzie, all attended this college, and I'm sure they will agree to keep it snappy. My daughter and son-in-law and my oldest grandson is sitting over there, and I'm really happy to have him here, especially Kobe. He's going to be an athlete himself, so I feel a little bit like game day in my playing days. I'm deeply honored and thankful to be receiving this honorary degree from the Lethbridge College. To be recognized for what I love doing is a tribute to volunteerism, but I'm quite sure many others are more qualified for this award. However, I will happily accept the award on behalf of the thousands of volunteers in this area, most of whom work behind the scenes, making good and important things happen around our community. Many thanks also to the Lethbridge College for having made me feel welcome ever since my first experience on campus, taking a welding class back in 1970. During the last 20 years, I've spent enough time on campus to get a degree. So I'm thinking the college may have decided that it probably wasn't going to happen unless they gave me an honorary degree. As well, I'd like to thank Bram Barber, who nominated me for this award. Bram is a well-respected professor at the Lethbridge College and a passionate promoter of environmental sustainability in the city of Lethbridge. I've had the pleasure of working with him and literally hundreds of other volunteers over the years. And a big thank you to all of them for the leadership, inspiration, and encouragement. Taking you back in time, as Peter mentioned, I arrived in Canada in 1965. I grew up in Denmark. Wanting to farm at an early age, I left home after grade 7. So I'm not a particularly well-educated guy. But I've tried to make the most of it. I spent some time in the Danish Army as a 19 and 20-year-old, and I was lucky enough to have a commanding officer who thought that taking a trip outside the country would be beneficial. So as Peter mentioned, I going to the agency that was handling those kind of things, I missed the turn. And I couldn't go back until the following week. By that time, there was no more spaces in England. So they asked me if I wanted to go to Canada, and I said, sounds good to me. So here I am. I was able to retire early because I got involved with the parish in Chin. Anybody know what Chin is? It's not a big town, but it's a fairly famous place. Back in the old days, it was actually a big town. It's where the McCain factory is now, and there's also some igloos out there, which was our potato storages in my farming days. Anyway, retiring in 1994, I got involved with the college Kodiaks and the University Pronghorns, and it's still a great energizer and inspiration for me when I try to promote physical activity as a cornerstone for today's society, where finger exercise is fast becoming the activity of choice. While common sense can be different things to different people, it tells me, for example, that physical activity for all age groups ought to be a public priority, with special emphasis on school-age children, where lifelong habits are often formed. If you agree that investing public money in recreational facilities and resources promoting physical and mental health should be a priority, please voice your opinions, especially locally, and become active supporters of such. Having lived my life in what may be the best of times this part of the world will ever see in terms of freedom, peace, and relative wealth, it concerns me a lot that my generation has allowed the interest of big foreign and multinational corporations to become so powerful that our governments are often incapable of separating themselves from their corporate agenda. The relaxation of rules regarding resource extraction is but one example of such short-sightedness. I urge you all to take an active interest in trying to convince elected officials and governments to adequately protect instead of allowing harm to our environment going forward. Finally, and this might make some people squirm, I'd like to voice my concern regarding the recent and severe operating cuts to Alberta post-secondary institutions, including this college. I may not be a very well-educated person myself, but I don't think it takes rocket science to figure out that future students will bear the brunt of these cuts after the dust settles, despite promises to the contrary. My kind of common sense fails to see how Albertans in general, and the Lethbridge economy in particular, will benefit from these government cuts, which amounts to about $20 million locally. Today's graduates can feel lucky they got in under the wire, but I strongly encourage you to support future students by actively lobbying for a better deal. The sooner the better. Thank you.
Thank you, Knud, and congratulations again on this achievement. Thank you and for inspiring our graduates to do the work that changes the world in ways large and small. It's now the moment we've all been waiting for, the introduction of our convocates for the class of 2013. Marshals, you may begin leading the convocates out as they prepare for the parade of convocates. While the convocates are gathering, I'd like to take a few minutes to review some housekeeping items. During the parade of convocates, you'll notice that some of our learners are wearing a special gold stole with their gowns. This stole identifies the Phi Theta Kappa honor students and symbolizes the Phi Theta Kappa motto of good as gold. It is available to all students who excel in the 4 hallmarks of the society: scholarship, leadership, service, and fellowship. I'd also like to point out that our First Nations, Métis, and Innu convocates will be presented with a traditional eagle feather to honor their achievement. And feathers will be presented by Shanda Vernier, Lethbridge College's intercultural coordinator, prior to crossing the stage. And as the college is on traditional Blackfoot territory, we have invited an elder to smudge prior to your arrival in order to cleanse the space and prepare for our celebrations here today. We ask that you remain seated while your convocate crosses the stage. Just sit back and enjoy the moment. We have a professional photographer from Life Touch Photography taking pictures of the convocates as they receive their diplomas. Pictures are available for purchase in the cave. Please refer to your program for details. After the ceremony, there are special photo areas in the center core of the college and outside of the food court area that are available for anyone wishing to take a group, class, or family photo. We would also like to remind you that this is a recorded event, DVDs will be available for sale at a later date in the college bookstore. Out of respect for all of the convocates and their families, I'd like to remind you to please remain seated until the ceremony ends. We understand that some of our guests may not be able to sit for long periods of time, and you may have young children who need special attention. So again, I remind you that we have 2 overflow rooms available for you and your child. They are located on the 2nd floor of this building. One room has a live video feed, and the other overlooks the gym, so you're able to watch the entirety of the ceremony. Don't hesitate to ask a marshal if you need help finding the overflow rooms. At this time, I ask that Mr. Ken Taylor from the School of Justice Studies take his place at the podium and announce the 2013 convocates. I also invite Dr. Paula Burns and Mr. Randy Jesperson to rise and greet our convocates.
We'll be starting with the massage therapy diploma, and it's Shauna Bierbach, massage therapy diploma. Rachel Braun. Jasmine Chan. Dallas Dixon. Candace Hansen. Nirvana Hawk. Julie Haynes. Deborah Lewis. Melissa McCarthy. Evelina Neufeld. Haley Rolfson. Jamie Sorensen. Brandy Stephen. Juanita Taylor. This is the end of the massage therapy diploma. Susan Allred. This is the start of the practical nursing diploma. Susan Allred. Lasha Schutzky. Megan Bertoya. Aaron Beals. Caitlin Boot. Andrea Burton. Diana Canfield. Riley Chow. Tegan Cove. Emily Dahl. Brittany DeClerc. Ashley Dillabo. Nicole Dubé. Melanie Easingwood. Charlotte Fletcher. Jordan Follick. Tiana Freer. Tanya Freer. Sorry. Caleb Fuller. Jeffrey Gates. Amy Gillette. Rachel Gronenboom. Alexandria Gurr. Cheryl Hebert. Leah Hiscock. Samantha Hussey. Amanda Jensen. Jessica Jonker. Anna Joseph. Caitlin Callan. Marianne Kearley. Gladys Coach. Jennifer Krushup. Jacqueline Leifting. Chantal Lorty. Lindsay Mallon. Natasha Manu. Tammy Marsden. Lourdes Martinez. Laurel McNeil. Serena Mellifont. Ngozi Mudumobi. Larissa Niels. Wycliffe Nietzsche. Mary Nixon. Namal Panam. Jillian Perret. Jonathan Payne. Lisa Patrick. Natalie Pozo. Michelle Provincial. Deborah Quinlan. Christy Racine. Elizabeth Rempel. Michaela Renneberg. Sandra Robles. Natalie Romano. Tracy Ross. Marielle Rutenbeek. Nicole Ryan. Elizabeth Ripon. Crystal Samus. Lisa Secretan. Megan Sheehan. Sarah Smart. Burke Snow. Celesta Snyder. Jasmine Stevens. Jeremy Tebow. Alicia Third. Sean Tolman. Brittany Tolton. Lori Turnbull. Willina Van Manen. Petula Vandenberg. Janae Veldman. Caitlin Verscher. Kimberly Vornbrock. Veronica Wall. Ariel Weiss. Shauna Wenzel. Heather Weeb. Jody Ilioya. Claudine Zupula. And this is the end of the practical nursing diploma. It's the start of the therapeutic recreation gerontology diploma. Brittany Bergwall. Heather Hultgren. Rebecca Johnston. Lindsay Plant. Chelsea Titus. Nicole Vandenbrink. Sharon Vanderplas. That is the end of the therapeutic recreational gerontology diploma. We begin the child and youth care diploma. Kelsey Beetstra. Carly Bossert. Sarah Brown. Christian Creighton. Chol Deng. Sean Dewell. Taylor Dewick. Nikki Durstling. Eric Evanson. Caitlin Gibbons. Amanda Grinton. Brittany Janicki. Caitlin Kelly. Megan Kobal. Ruth Larman. Megan McIntosh. Tracy Mill. Carrie Lee Reckdale. Joanne Slowoski. Crystal Stalker. Ashley Topless. Jamie Lee Vanderlinden. Nicholas Wafelt. Rebecca Weaver. Tyra Whitson. Emily Wilmot. Andrea Zazadny. That is the end of the Child and Youth Care Diploma. I will start the Disability and Community Rehabilitation Diploma. Carolyn Funk. It's also the end of the Disability and Community Rehabilitation Diploma. And we will begin with the Early Childhood Education Certificate with Sasha Beal. Sherilyn Elton. That is also the end of the Childhood Education Certificate. And we begin with the Early Childhood Education Diploma, Andrea Birchie. Rosa Carcamo. Leisha DeRoger. Lynn Dirksen. Anita Entz. Rawan Faraj. Kaylee Hopman. Tanis Hickaway. Kira Irwin. Darla McGlynn. Carrie Miro. Austin Ogrins. Tegan Petty. Brianna Seaman. Darcy Torsher. Marcy Vallon. That is the end of the Early Childhood Education Diploma. This be the Special Needs Adult Educational Assistant Certificate, Corey Davidson. So that is also the end of that certificate. And the Special Needs Education Assistant Diploma, Ashley Bennett Killens. Nigel Curtis. Heather Dorchak. Jacinta Drost. Kyla Hanston. Benita May. Denny Tailfeathers. This is the end of the Special Needs Educational Assistant Diploma. This is the start of the Criminal Justice Policing Diploma, Whitney Odyssey. Stephanie Albers. Curtis Armstrong. Brianne Bassett. James Bateman. Tyler Bell. Cole Bennett. Jesse Benz. Paige Bowen. Lauren Boyer. Stephen Brett. Michael Brooks. Colton Brown. Keely Brown. Kai Joe. Andrew Christie. Alexandria Siliberti. Congratulations. Brendan Davis. Soren DeBon. Colton Dennis. Dion Douglas. Daniel Duff. Austin Ebel. Tiana Edmonds. Cody Elliott. Andrew Ellis. Stephen Erickson. Taylor Fenns. Caitlin Forsyth. Colton Froelich. Taylor Ganchard. Janelle Gaudette. Ethan Gelady. Aaron Gordon. Kevin Grant. Clinton Grudecki. Becca Harrison. Sean Hauser. Shaylin Helmig. Sebastian Henwood. Rebecca Holt. Sean Jenkins. Sung Hwan Kim. Wade King. Dawn Klafke. Mitchell Knudsen. Katie Christiansen. Kyle Larson Pendock. Thanks. Stefan Lisan. Ian Maschewski. Ryan McGuire. Victor Mahoney. Jordan Mayer. Jordan Marsolier. Kendra Maddock. Ethan McCannell. Colby Miller. Candace Mitchell. Garth Mostowich. Jonathan Nelson. Justin Nelson. Trent Nesbitt. Chelsea Newman. Brock Nickel. Wesley Noble. Alistair Patterson. Cole Peters. Brett Polischuk. April Potvin. Mark Remington. Cody Rose. Kyle Shelton. Todd Suchuk. Brett Shikemi. Sarah Smith. Chris Spiker. Manu Taylor Cole. Chase Thompson. Gerardo Vieira. Hi, Keegan. Keegan Wallace. Paul Weiler. Julian Williams Freeman. David Zhu. Tyson Yanchicki. That is the end of the criminal justice placing diploma. Begin with the correctional studies diploma. Miranda Burnett. Alexis Clark. Lisa Clark. Warren Daychief. Jody Lynn Gast. Crystal Gates. Michael Graham. Chantel Hofer. Christine Holt. Nipeth James. Kendra Call. Danielle Ludwig. Sean Morgan. Leighton Mueller. Pamela Mullen. Karen Perot. Jameson Quinton. Kelly Saka. Wendy Schmidt. Olivia Slade. Austin Slazina. Brianna Sonmore. Kinjal Thakar. Brady Tomlinson. Danielle Yankee. Matthew Zam. That's the end of the Correctional Studies Diploma. This is the start of the Correctional Studies Bachelor of Applied Arts. Cassandra Banks. Stephen Moquin. Nicole Ouellette. Is the end of the Correctional Studies Bachelor of Applied Arts. It's the beginning of the Justice Studies Bachelor of Applied Arts. Christine Ewing. Monica Kegelman. Christy Scout. That'll be the end of the Justice Studies Bachelor of Applied Arts. This is the start of the Central Sterile Processing Credential of Academic Achievement. Asanta Chan. Dolores Schilling. That is the end of the Central Sterile Processing Credential. This is the start of the Healthcare Aid Credential of Academic Achievement. Destiny Crane. Katharina Leon. Matthew Spearman. It's the end of the Healthcare Aid Credential. It's the start of the Unit Clerk Training Credential of Academic Achievement. Kelly Blake. Laura Boychuk. Julie DeCreek. Laura Folden. Elise Friesen. Brooklyn Higgin. Jermaine Ismailowicz. Michaela Kotke. Kayla Lanham. Beverly McCool. Holly Melvin. Leas Morrow. Justine Purvis. Alexandra Rasmussen. Kara Werner. Fern Wesley. Mary Beth Wolvers. That is the end of the unit clerk training credential. Okay, this is the start of the inclusive post-secondary education recognition of achievement. James Chang. The start of the instructor certification program credential of academic achievement. Alan Laditz. Okay. Janet York. Okay, at this time, I'd like to call Sandra Davis for Athabasca University, my alma mater, to take center stage to congratulate their students. This is the Athabasca University Bachelor of Professional Arts Communication Studies, Stephen Cody. It's the Bachelor of Professional Arts, Criminal Justice, Nicole Affey. Walter Appel. Dylan Arbe. Jenna Chappelle. Eric Couture. Thank you. Jared Haggerty. Naruka Kozumi. Luke Palmer. It's the end of the Athabasca University Bachelor of Professional Arts in Criminal Justice. This is the Bachelor of Professional Arts, Human Services, Shannon Hootmer. That's it. That's it. Good. Thank you, and back to you, Peter. Thank you. Thanks.
Well done, Ken. Well, congratulations, convocates. It is my pleasure to present to you the class of 2013. Let's give these convocates another round of applause. Well done. Well done. I now invite John Milder, Chair of the Lethbridge College's Alumni Advisory Council, to come forward to provide some lasting words to our convocates. John?
Thank you, Peter. Congratulations, convocates. You are now officially Lethbridge College alumni. Let me start by saying just how truly proud we are of all that you've accomplished. Your hard work, focus, discipline, and determination have led to this day, and it is an achievement worthy of celebration. Well done. As chair of the college's Alumni Advisory Council, it is also my honor to welcome you into the fold. You are part of an impressive group, many thousand strong, living and working and making a difference in ways large and small all around the world. You only have to think back to the stories Randy Jesperson, our Board of Governors chair, shared with us earlier today to be inspired. And the best part is, there are so many other stories like it, because Lethbridge College alumni are influential, inspirational, and engaging members of their communities. You'll get the chance to read some of these stories in the issue of Wider Horizons, Lethbridge College's magazine, which you'll receive today. You may not know this, but one of the perks of being an alumnus is receiving the magazine 3 times a year at no charge. Just make sure we have your address, and we'll send you all the inspirational and amazing stories of your fellow alumni and friends. And who knows, perhaps next year the board chair will be sharing your success story with the convocates, inspiring another generation of Lethbridge College alumni. Maybe we'll all be reading about your triumphs and travels in the next issue, Wider Horizons. So wherever your life takes you, please keep us posted. We love to hear about all of your adventures. Good luck to you. Good luck to all of you, and congratulations.
Thank you, John. This concludes the formal portion of our ceremony. I'd like to thank the first-year broadcast students for working with our audiovisual department for the technical aspects of today's program. Thank you to our incoming Student Association government for helping with the folders on stage, and thanks to our EMT volunteers who are all Lethbridge College students. And finally, I'd also like to thank all of the other college volunteers for helping to make this a wonderful day of celebration for our students. Thank you all. The platform party will now lead the recessional, followed by special guests, our faculty, and our convocates. The students voted to select 2 favorite songs to be played during the recessional. These are their top choices. I'm a little worried about that right now. We ask that everyone else remain seated until the convocates have left. I invite family and friends to the convocation tea located at the campus food court. On your way, you can stop and order photos from Life Touch Photography. They're set up in the cave by the entrance nearest the center core. Volunteers will be pleased to assist you on your way. Feel free to take time for photo opportunities. And thank you all for coming, and let's give our convocates one more round of applause.